Hi everyone, it's Lisa Brown with InkandInspirations.com. Thank you for joining me today. In this video, I wanted to take this card style and layout that I did, a few weeks ago, and I did a hyperlapse video on my Facebook page that was really in fast motion, but I made the comment, if you need to make a really quick card, but really this is an easy, quick layout to make once you decide on your papers and your stamps. And so I'm going to make another one today in real time, and I'm going to be using this limited time stamp set, Happiness Surrounds, from Stampin' Up! In November 2018. It is part of our Snowflake Showcase that includes this stamp set, Snow is Glistening, and then some framelets or thinlets, the snowfall thinlets that are beautiful and coordinate with both sets. And so that just goes to show you that you can use these for everyday cards and for holiday or wintertime cards. Now today we're going to be keeping it very simple and quick for when you need to make a stack of cards or you need a card in a hurry, and we're basically using stamps, ink, and paper. So I've already started by cutting out my card base at 4 1/4 by 11 inches, and I scored it at 5 1/2 and gave it a good crease with my bone folder. This is a piece of the Nature's Poem Designer Series paper that you can find in the Stampin' Up! Annual Catalog, and it is cut the size of the front of the card base, and so that is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And later we're going to just attach that to the top where it's a solid designer paper front. But for now, let's go ahead and work on our design and our stamping. So I have a piece of Whisper White cardstock, and I knew that I wanted to use this little image with these leaves that make a snowflake pattern but could also be a floral pattern. So I want it at least wide enough to hold this stamp image. So I needed 1 1/2 inches. So I'm going to cut it that wide. Then I know I need it 4 1/4 across because I need it to go across the span of the front of the card. So I'm going to cut it at 4 1/4. And now we can do some more cutting, because as you can see on this holiday card, I used a strip of solid cardstock that coordinated with the paper just to border out this image and make it stand out away from the designer paper. So I'm going to use Tranquil Tide, which is a deeper shade, in my opinion, of the mint macaron that's on here. And it's also included in the Designer Series paper stack, as you can see on the flip side here with this fern pattern. So let me take this, and I know I just need a strip, okay? A strip to stick above and below the Whisper White. So I'm going to cut it, let's go 3/4 inches wide. Not that you have to measure it, but I'm just doing that because I know I want enough to extend beyond the Whisper White and yet have some space to adhere it with my adhesive. So you can see I'm going to do that, and I can see now I need to trim it again, because how wide does it need to be? 4 1/4 inches. So let's get it there. And let me get here and get a good straight edge. All right, so we can put our trimmer aside for now, and let's get to some stamping. I'm going to get a piece of scrap paper here, and I'm going to start out with the mint macaron ink and this little leafy floral shape, okay? And so I'm going to ink it up. And what I'm going to do is I want it to border both sides, okay, of this piece, because I'm going to put my sentiment in the middle. So I'm going to take it and get as close to the edge, centering it top to bottom, and stamp. And you can see that this paper is cut just wide enough for this image. And you know, you can do that by just taking your ruler or your grid paper and lining it up to see exactly how tall you need it and how wide you need it, okay? All right, let's get the other one stamped. And I'm going to come on this side and come close to the edge, center it top to bottom, and stamp. All right, so now I'm going to use Tranquil Tide ink, and I'm going to use a different floral stamp that's in this set. And let me see, I've got my clear block here, and it looks like I forgot to clean this stamp. Not good. Okay. All right, let's open this up, and we're going to stamp in the center of that previous image there. So I'm going to ink it up in Tranquil Tide. Now, when I did the practice card for this, I lined up the points top and bottom to match all of these. I think I'm going to stagger it this time, and I may like that better, where the petals go in between the leafy stems there. And yeah, I like that a lot better. I'll show you the original in just a minute so you can compare. All right, so there we go. You see how beautiful those two colors are together? I love it. And it gives you that monochromatic card feel. Okay, so now I'm going to take the Sending Positive Thoughts stamp, and I'm also going to use the darker shade to tie in both of my colors of my designer paper and my cardstock. And I'm just going to stamp that right in the middle. Okay, so there we go. Now let's get to adding our strips of Tranquil Tide. So I'm going to flip this over and put a line of snail adhesive on the top and the bottom, and then I'll take these two strips and just, I want maybe a 1/4 inch peeking out over top and bottom, okay? And do it with the right side facing up so you can see what that's going to look like. Okay, all right, I like that. So let's attach that to our designer paper. I'm going to get it here, and I'm going to go ahead and put that on. Now, I've held off in attaching the designer paper because when I add an embellishment of twine or ribbon, I like to, if I remember, to add it to the designer paper, around the designer paper, before I put it to the card base, so that the back of the ribbon is hidden between the paper and the cardstock. Okay, so we're going to get that right there. Now I have some of this classic weave ribbon in crumb cake, and you can see the back of this has like a weave pattern, and a little bit of the crumb cake shows through. So that's how I decided to go with the crumb cake base and then the ribbon, just to tie it all together. I'm leaving it on the spool for now to just see how much I'm going to need. And so let me tie, I'm just going to tie a simple knot and get that done. All right, now let me trim this off, and I can cut it from the bolt. Cut it at a diagonal to reduce the raveling there. Okay, now we can attach it to the front of our card, and the ribbon will be hidden between the designer paper and the cardstock base. Okay, so let's get this on here, and I'm going to add one more little embellishment just to finish it off. Okay, I have some of these faceted dots that I have used a lot of. I want to say a ton because I always say a ton, but you know what I mean. And these colors have been So good for many projects starting in the summer and then coming on through Halloween and the fall. And I just love Stampin' Up's color choices for this. I think it's great. Okay, so there we have our card. Now let me show you the original one. You see how I matched the points to the points of the leaves? And on this one we staggered. I like this one better. What do you think? Okay, thank you so much for joining me. If you have any questions, let me know. Visit my website at inkandinspirations.com, where I'll have the measurements and details for this card. And I'll see you again soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.